And the lights are illuminated by the drivers for Felipe Nasr's first race here in Australia. And the lights are out and away we go, and Felipe Nasr completely forgets to start then. We've already been overtaken by Hamilton, Bottas and Daniel Ricciardo. As Felipe Nasr, we're going to go round the outside of Daniel Ricciardo. Will we be able to pull off the move round the outside, breaking down to this next corner? We've actually overcooked it a little bit. We've gone a little bit wide into the gravel. We're going to lose position to Ricciardo and Felipe Nasr. What's going on? We're being mugged by the two Manners. Wow, Will Stevens going to go round the outside of the pair of us here. Roberto Merri got an absolutely mad one there. Bloody hell. He's going to change his line. He's going to try and go round the outside here. And he's gone on the grass there. Kvyat's actually made the move stick. As you can see, he makes a bit of contact there. His front left tyre has blown out here with 2 laps to go. And his home Grand Prix. And what a drive from the Brazilian driver. As you can see, Felipe Nasr getting out of this car now. Not actually looking too happy, but I think deep down, underneath that crash helmet, he is absolutely ecstatic with today's result. What a drive.
The time has come to start the first session of the race weekend. It's practice for the Malaysia Grand Prix. So after the first race, how do you think this season will compare to previous years?
Well, I hope that we're in for a fantastic season. The Mercedes team have certainly come out of pre-season testing the strongest, which is all well and good, but it's the racing where the pace really counts. It's always difficult to predict, therefore, who's going to come out on top.
The new regulations for this year say goodbye to the somewhat unique nose designs that we saw on the 2014 cars.
The 2014 changes were brought in to promote safety, but I don't think it was anticipated how the teams would exploit the regulations. This year, those regulations have been tightened up to give us a more traditional look to the noses on the 2015 cars.
Hey guys, what is up? It is StopMatt1998 here, and I am back with part 2 of my Felipe Nasr career mode. Here we are today at Sepang International Circuit for the Malaysian Grand Prix, where we're looking to build on from where we left off last time out in Melbourne, Australia, with a 4th place finish. Absolutely unbelievable. I'd also like to thank you guys for the amazing support on that video. I think that video is now over 60 likes or something like that. Something incredible like that. I'd also like to thank you as well for 800 subscribers, which I did hit last night or a couple of nights ago, depending on when this video goes up. But yeah, I'd just like to thank you for the support recently since I've been uploading these F1 2015 videos. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And obviously today in Malaysia, we're hoping for a better result than we got in Australia, although it's going to be very difficult. You know, the tyre weigh is just as bad, just as difficult on traction, and with the Sauber with having lower downforce, it may be very difficult. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into qualifying. With the forecast predicting no rain for qualifying, nobody was expecting any surprises in Malaysia. It was another bad day at the office for Max Verstappen, as he would line up in 18th, with teammate Carlos Sainz 3 tenths ahead in 12th place. Lotus were looking to break out of the midfield battle in Malaysia. However, their qualifying result of 13th and 15th proves there's still some way to go. Jenson Button would once again end up as the fastest McLaren, with teammate Fernando Alonso down in 17th place. Vijay Mallya was extremely pleased with Force India's qualifying performance, as both cars broke into the top 10. Danny Kvyat was massively outperformed by Daniel Ricciardo, as the Australian was able to go 1.2 seconds quicker than his teammate. After his Melbourne podium, Felipe Nasr's confidence was at an all-time high, and it clearly showed as he outqualified teammate Valtteri Bottas by over half a second. Only 0.02 of a second separate the two Ferrari drivers in qualifying, which shows that we could be in for quite some battle between them this season. Another minuscule gap separated the two Mercedes cars, as Lewis Hamilton got one back on Nico Rosberg and was able to seal pole position for the Malaysian Grand Prix. Felipe Nasr was extremely surprised with his result of 8th place, as his pace in practice showed that he'd been nowhere near the top 10. Teammate Marcus Ericsson struggled to 16th.
Welcome to the Sepang International Circuit, where the cars are already on the grid as we gear up to start the main event. We knew this was a track that suited the Mercedes well, but no one would have expected that Lewis Hamilton would have created such a gap to his rivals in qualifying. If he stays out of trouble and the car continues to perform, well, victory should surely be a formality.
He has clean air in front of him, so we'll be hoping he can create a gap over the first few laps. If the cars in 2nd and 3rd can keep close until the first round of pit stops, then they may be able to take advantage on the undercut.
Nico won the last race with a performance that Toto Wolff called a drive of true class. He seems really at home in this Mercedes team, and it's from that platform that he's able to put in these great performances.
Nico certainly had the edge over Lewis last time out, and he'll want to put one over on his teammate again today. Don't underestimate the mind games that are going on between these pair as they battle it out for supremacy.
So guys, here we are on the grid now for Felipe Nasr's 2nd Formula 1 race of 2015. around the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia. As you can see by the strategy, we are expecting to do a 2-stop strategy today, but obviously that does depend on the tyre wear. Some teams may opt to do 3 stops, and that may include ourselves, depending on how bad the tyre wear is in this first stint. But anyway, the lights are illuminated above us now for the Malaysian Grand Prix here. And lights out, and away we go. And the initial launch, in fact, from Felipe Nasr has been absolutely terrible. And already that is Nico Hulkenberg round the outside of us, and I think a couple of other cars behind may follow, including Daniel Kvyat, who's currently in 10th. In fact, somebody hit us from behind there. I think that may have been the Force India of Sergio Perez, but as you can see, Kvyat and Hulkenberg's now through. We're currently side by side with Sergio Perez going through and into turn 2, but we've just about managed to defend that position with Perez still round the outside. In fact, we get an oversteer moment out of that corner. Now Perez is right alongside us. As you can see, we're actually gaining a bit of slipstream on Nico Hulkenberg, so we may actually overtake him, and along with Danny Kvyat, and we are back up into P9, with the only position that we've lost actually is the expense of Roman Grosjean, who's made his way up into 7th place. So what a start from the Lotus driver there. As you can see, just getting really used to the Malaysian track. Obviously, as you can see, it's quite an overcast race, this one, so the temperature's going to be a little bit cooler, so it'll take a while for the tyres to heat up. But as you can see, we are now beginning to pull away from Kvyat ever so slightly, but I think this stint will be very difficult, and I do think that points today are unlikely. We're going to have to wait and see here, as on to the end of lap 1 now we can see Hulkenberg trying to overtake Kvyat, but then we completely outbrake ourselves, and now Nico Hulkenberg and Danny Kvyat may follow through. But in fact, we rejoin into the path of Danny Kvyat, and he forces off into the gravel, which has cost us 2 positions here. In fact, no, 3 positions. Now Jenson Button in the McLaren Honda has overtaken us, as you can see behind. Marcus Ericsson trying to make a move on the Toro Rosso of Carlos Sainz, which he might manage doing so, but we're going back on the inside of Jenson Button. You can see the AI ahead. Perez trying to get around the outside of Danny Kvyat. Absolutely crazy scenes here at the start of the Malaysian Grand Prix. But as you can see, on the board from Danny Kvyat, he couldn't really do much about it, to be honest, so I'd say a racing incident more than anything. As you can see, Sergio Perez might get a better view of it here. Yeah, because Kvyat had Hulkenberg on the inside, so he couldn't really move further to the inside to let Nasr rejoin back onto the track. So it's really just our mistake there. But now skipping onto lap 4, I believe. In fact, Carlos Sainz getting extremely close to the back of Felipe Nasr there. Felipe Nasr getting a bit of a twitch there on the straight. But as you can see, Marcus Ericsson going to try double overtake here on Felipe Nasr and Jenson Button up the inside. Has Marcus Ericsson done it here? Not quite. I'm not too sure. As he now go on board Jenson Button to see his perspective of all this. He's going to go around the outside. I think both Saubers have actually passed the McLaren there. As you can see, Nasr on the inside of his teammate Marcus Ericsson. Nasr has maintained that position, although he does get a bit of oversteer out of the corner, and Ericsson could come back at him. But look, 2 teammate battles in the 2 McLarens and the 2 Saubers. Button trying to go around the outside of Alonso, who Button also got a poor exit, just like Nasr did. Alonso going up the inside, Nasr locking up, trying to go around the outside of Marcus Ericsson here. The 2 Saubers and 2 McLarens battling here. Going into the left hand, as you can see, Alonso trying to go around the outside of Jenson Button. He has the inside line for the next right-hander. As you can see, has he pulled off that move? No, Button is standing strong here. He does not want to give up the position, but as you can see just ahead, Nasr's trying to move on Marcus Ericsson. Will he be able to repass his teammate here for 40th position? Yes, he has. Brilliant move there from Felipe Nasr up the inside, as Alonso, I think, did settle for 17th place in the end behind his teammate. So next up the road is the Toro Rosso of Carlos Sainz Jr. And I really don't see us catching him up at this point, because the tyre wear was absolutely terrible. Because we did 3 laps on our tyres in qualifying, the effects of that are really hitting us right now, as Marcus Ericsson making the move on the next lap up into 14th position. The Sauber battle continues on. In fact, Jenson Button's there as well. I don't think Felipe Nasr was fully aware of the McLaren driver, but in the end Button did back off as he was on the outside line and couldn't pull off that move up into 15th place. But so far, this Grand Prix really has not gone to plan. We've lost way too many positions after starting in 8th place, and I think it is sensible. I think we are actually going to be pitting in this lap for the option tyres. You can see Button trying to go around the outside of Verstappen there as well. It's going to be 3 abreast here going into the final corner. We actually want to go into the pits here, so we might have to hurt Button a little bit here by forcing him out a little bit wide. So I think he's now lost the position to his teammate Fernando Alonso because of that. So I think so far in this race, it just has not gone to plan whatsoever. The tyre wear has just been much more severe than I expected it to be. And overall, just the car just doesn't seem to be up for it. I'm not sure whether it's the setup. I'm going to have to test the setups, because I'm not really too used to setups on this game as of yet. I'm not sure whether running with low aero is a good thing, because I'm trying to get the straight line speed in these races, but it still doesn't seem to be working. I mean, cornering grip and downforce is just being effective for me at the moment, because I'm running with lower wings. We're going to have to wait and see as we now exit the pit lane after a very quick pit stop there from the Sauber mechanics. I think that was a 2.4 second stop, so very quick there from these Sauber guys. But as you can see now, skipping up to the end of lap 8 to the beginning of lap 9, loads of other cars come to the pit, so we're going to see where we are relative to them. And as it looks at the moment, there are a couple of cars exiting the pits ahead of us, so this is kind of worrying here. And that is the Toro Rosso of Max Verstappen. Cast your minds back, he was the Toro Rosso that overtook us just before we pitted. So in fact, those extra 3 laps we were out for just haven't made a difference at all. That 3 lap undercut just hasn't made any difference whatsoever, and I'm not sure what's going on today. As you can see, crossing the line now, in fact, I think we are going to jump quite a few cars here. Jensen Button, Marcus Ericsson, our teammate, and I believe that's the other McLaren of Fernando Alonso. McLaren, for some reason, double starting. I have absolutely no idea why. Very strange to see, but anyway, as you can see ahead, there's a train beginning to form with Will Stevens, I believe, at the front of it, holding up quite a few cars ahead, so we can take advantage of it and try and reel them in and try and overtake a few cars. As you can see, now skipping a little bit later on, we've got Verstappen ahead of us. That is Verstappen, Maldonado, and Carlos Sainz. In fact, we're going to make the move here on Verstappen. We're going to try and make it around the outside, but no, just no grip whatsoever, and the car's trying to step out on us, so it's not going to work here. We're going to have to try going into this next corner, maybe the back straight where DRS is enabled. As you can see, Verstappen and Maldonado trying to find a way past Will Stevens, but there's just nowhere to overtake at the moment. We're actually going to go round the outside here of Maldonado and Max Verstappen. What a move here from Felipe Nasr, who's actually made a bit of contact with the rear tyre of Will Stevens, and Maldonado trying to make the move there, actually making a bit of contact with Felipe, and he wasn't too happy about that. But now DRS has been activated by Nasr, and he's going to make the move round the outside of the Mana Marussia of Will Stevens, once again battling with the Manners. Just like in Melbourne, as you can see, a very weird slide going around the final corner. I think we did actually lock our rear tyres just before turning in, which did cause that little slide there. As you can see behind us, Maldonado and Max Verstappen now trying to find a way past the Mana Marussia of Will Stevens. In fact, Maldonado is very close now. He's actually gaining on us here, and Verstappen actually making up 2 positions, possibly even 3 down the inside of Felipe Nasr here. Can Verstappen pull off the move? Now skipping to cinematic shots now. In fact, Nasr actually forces Verstappen out wide ever so slightly. Now skipping back, Will Stevens has spun out. Will Stevens, the Mana Marussia car, has spun out here, and he's lost positions now to the McLaren and to the Sauber of Marcus Ericsson. We need to see what happens here to Will Stevens. I'm not entirely sure what happened here. Let's go on boards. As you can see, Verstappen obviously going up the inside of both Maldonado and the Marussia driver here. As you can see, now going into this next corner, turn 2, Verstappen runs a little bit wide because of us, and then Will Stevens had nowhere to go but to drive into the side pod of the Toro Rosso driver, and that did cost Will Stevens quite a bit of time. Not that it really matters anyway, because he's only going to finish last anyway, let's be honest. But now skipping a little later on onto the back straight, Maldonado and Max Verstappen both have DRS, and they are both making moves here on Felipe Nasr. Felipe Nasr losing positions left, right and centre. He's now down to 15th position. And now it's Fernando Alonso behind him. Felipe Nasr just getting absolutely no pace whatsoever in this race with this Sauber car. It just does not suit this Malaysia track whatsoever. I think this is going to be one of our worst races of the season, to be honest with you, with the way it's going at the moment. You can see Fernando Alonso now going down the inside, and I think it is definitely time to pit. These tyres, these option tyres, have clearly had it after 7 laps that actually we've been on them, to be completely fair. So soon it won't be long until they probably blow out or something, because I know on this game tyres do blow out very easy, as you've seen with some of the AI cars in my previous career mode videos, and also it can happen to the player as well. But now he actually did pit on lap 13. Now it took us to lap 14 to catch up with the Mana Marussia car of Roberto Merri. Obviously Will Stevens right at the back after his spin earlier on, so we're going to have to try and make this move on Roberto Merri as quickly as possible. I believe there is another car that is doing a free stop strategy. I believe it is Sergio Perez, who hasn't pitted yet. I think he's pitting in this lap, and then we'll see him on the track in a second. As you can see now, skipping on to lap 18, I think Sergio Perez has already rejoined ahead of us here. I think he is just up the road. Now we actually overtake Max Verstappen and Marcus Ericsson, both guys on 2-stop strategy. So it's important we pull out a gap on these optimum tyres whilst they're still at optimum performance, because obviously once they fall off the cliff, they really do fall off the cliff. I mean, literally have no pace whatsoever. Now skipping on to lap 19, a further few cars have pitted. I believe that is a McLaren that's rejoined ahead of us, or just behind us in fact. No, that is Fernando Alonso who is rejoined behind us here. But now on lap 19, we have caught up with Sergio Perez, the guy who is also doing a free stop strategy along with us today. So I think our finish position points are completely out of the question today. I think the best we can hope for is really 14th place or something like that. I'm not sure how many guys behind us are doing free stops today. I think it might just be myself and Sergio Perez. We're actually going to go inside of Perez here, going down to the final corner on lap 19. I believe he is actually diving into the pitch. Yes, he is. He's actually pitting in a lap earlier, so we're going to have to really be on it here if we want to overcut the Force India driver. How quick will the pit stop be from the Sauber mechanics today? Let's have a look. Right at the end of the pit lane, so very long drive. 2.4 seconds. That is a brilliant pit stop there from the Sauber mechanics. I think that actually has got us out ahead of Sergio Perez in the Force India, so 15th place, still not really much to be happy about, but in this race today it has been absolutely dreadful, so really just anything that we gain today is just a bonus for us. You can see up the road now is Marcus Ericsson and Jensen Button, I believe, but now we look at the battle for the lead between Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Räikkönen. In fact, Hamilton is making a move up the inside of the Ferrari driver here, and Hamilton has made the move second. He is now in the lead of the Malaysian Grand Prix. Such a shame for Kimi Räikkönen, as it's unlikely that he'll be able to overtake the Mercedes driver now after that. But now looking at the battle ahead of us, you can see us just in the distance there on the pit straight. Jensen Button in the McLaren making the move up the inside of Marcus Ericsson, making Sauber's day just more more miserable, really. 14th and 15th, just absolutely dreadful today for the Sauber team. Really not what we wanted at all. Lewis Hamilton has won the race today. Felipe Nasr is going to come around the final corner on a free-stop strategy. Really poor results today in 15th place. So certainly a race that will not live long in the memory of Felipe Nasr. Really a complete contrast to the last race in Melbourne. Really not what we wanted, but hopefully we can improve in China. That's obviously the aim. Hopefully it should be a little bit better. But the car today just wasn't up for it whatsoever. You can see our teammate Marcus Ericsson also struggling even on a 2-stop strategy to 14th place. And we only finished 6 seconds behind him. So I think in that respect we did outperform our teammate this weekend. But again, just a very poor result. Pretty unacceptable to be honest. I don't think the team will be happy with either of us today. But the car just really wasn't up for it, as I said. But luckily we've only dropped to 6th in the Drivers' Championship. We still have Bottas, Kvyat and Ricciardo behind us, who you should really expect to see ahead of us at this moment in time. But obviously there's quite a few races to go yet, so we can't really get too excited about our current position in the championship. So we are now 5th in the constructors. We have dropped behind, I believe, just Red Bull after the Malaysian Grand Prix. I think Red Bull had a double points finish there with Kvyat and Ricciardo, so a good race for them. Really just a poor result that we're going to forget. We're just going to move on from this and come back strong in the Chinese Grand Prix. We're hoping for another solid points finish. But anyway guys, I will see you next time. Bye bye.